The Fearless Launching Show was created to answer the question, how can I launch my big idea to the world in the most simple, straightforward way possible and reach more of the right people? I'm your host, Ann Samoylov, and I've been helping 6- and 7-figure business owners launch for over a decade. And while I love geeking out about improving launches, new launch strategies, what's working, what's not working, I'm also obsessed with exploring the heart, the mind, the challenges of running your own business. And that's what we're going to do each and every week. I want to show you how to launch that course or coaching program or other creative work and navigate the journey of being an online entrepreneur. So if you're ready for some new perspectives, some new stories around launching, well, I can't wait to share those with you. Let's get into today's episode. Well, hey there, it's Thursday, and that means it is strategy day. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday is all behind us, and I can't even tell you how happy that makes me feel right now, because I often feel this sense of dread and stress over the fact that I should be having a sale. I should have put an offer together, but historically, it just has never hit at the right time. It hasn't felt right. And we all have seasons that are more difficult personally or more full or challenging. And mine happens to be literally every national holiday with my family and just different things that are happening. And that actually also sometimes happens on my birthday, not on a national holiday, but it does sometimes happen then. And it's fun. But I've come to expect it over the past few years. So don't feel bad for me, because after reading this illuminating Reddit thread I read recently about why, basically it was like somebody wrote a post saying why they wouldn't be going to their relative's house, but they posted it, but it was written from the point of view of someone writing to the family. Here's why we're not showing up. And I realized I'm not the only one who obviously has challenging holidays and challenging seasons of life. So this year was different. Thanksgiving for us was peaceful, lovely, small, no stress, no worries, great food. And the only thing on my mind for the past few days actually has been my brand new program that takes everything in Fearless Launching, which I said is no longer going to be taught in that form, and my year-long program, the Launch Incubator, and it evolves that program really to the next level. I took the best of the self-study related pieces of that incubator curriculum that I just knew would be easier to implement on your own. Fine, no problem. So today I wanted to share some of the things that happen behind the scenes, because there's a lot I've learned, and or at least a good number of important things that I've discovered and am figuring out beyond this new program, but also related to the new program. So here's just a bit of the decisions that I've had to make and wanted to share. And just a little something about each one, because I am going to give you a way to learn even more. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to invite you. And if you already know you want to be part of this, I'm really looking for some people to workshop some ideas with me. But I also want to give something back to you for doing that. So if you're curious what that is, just go to the show notes and it'll say something there. But you can also just listen to the end, because this won't be that long. Okay, so here are just like a little bit of the things that I have been learning. So I've definitely been thinking a lot about how I'm going to announce and share what's going on with you in terms of this program. And guess what? This podcast is one of those things. I knew that I needed to really open up and share the difficulties, my own challenges, but also the wins and the excitement, because I rarely get to do that. And I think that while email is sometimes some people's chosen format, I feel like when I'm talking, it's easier to see how excited I am. And I'm working on that. We'll work on getting that copy with that excitement injected in there. But definitely have been thinking about different ways that I want to announce this and share what's going on with you. Because as this is a self-study program, it doesn't necessarily need to be this open and close and you're never going to hear about it again product or off a course. You're going to be able to go through this process or this funnel, which is the next thing that I've been really thinking through. And in terms of, are they going to watch a workshop? Are they going to go through a challenge? Should I do a challenge in December? And both of those things right now are actually on the table, and it's the end of November. So you think, wow, how can Anne get that stuff together so quickly? But it will be using past content for sure. So we'll see what happens there. But the funnel is something that I'm really thinking about in terms of what comes first. Where do people find this first? Am I going to mention it at the end of every podcast? Am I going to put some ads on my website? I am not doing paid traffic just yet. That's one thing, but I do need that beginning of the funnel. And maybe there's another offer first that comes even before this. Maybe there's something totally different or smaller that comes before this, which is something that I alluded to a couple episodes ago. And that is like a very low priced offering to allow someone to get to know me, see if they're even going to get any help, the help that they need, and then move to the next stage. So working on that funnel. I'm also thinking about how other products, like if you go to in the most basic sense, if you were to go to your whoever's courses, let's say you've bought multiple ones, and then you go to their home page, sometimes people will show you the stuff you don't own yet, right? Which I think is great because then you can really see everything. I actually like it when people do that. But sometimes I'm like, I can't really tell from this if I own that or not. Access Ally, which is a really great way to build your own course portals and everything like that, their membership kind of dashboard is really clear. The ones you don't have are grayed out or very muted. The ones you do own are like very clear, bright circles or whatever. So anyways, definitely thinking about all those other products that I do and don't want to sell on the side anymore. Like some of the ones that have gone away that I just haven't talked about in a long time are train your team to launch. That might be a bonus at some point, or maybe I'll redo that training. I also have there's a few other ones that were never really sold. They were only used as bonuses. We'll see what happens to those. And yeah, so I'm thinking about those. What other products stand in the product suite, right? And to that end, what will the pricing structure be for each one? Where does this new program fit? Is it going to be your $14.97, $9.97? Right now, I'm leaning on that maybe the basic full price is $14.97, but that it's actually $9.97 if you go through a webinar or a challenge or some other type of workshop or other. That's the funnel pricing, which is really the pricing I want you to have, but it's a great way to do a price anchor. Like, here's what I sell it for. If someone happens to land on that page, they'll pay full price. But if they don't, then they'll get that $500, difference. Now this is about the actual program itself. And one of my main concerns has been really making sure that I take out all of the really one-on-one, hands-on stuff that was in the incubator, the year-long program, the year-long coaching program. So I want to make sure that everything that I pull into this program is truly self-study. And also I want to honor the members that were in the incubator so that they don't feel slighted at all. They'll obviously get access to this. I wouldn't have it any other way. They will have access to everything, but I want to make sure that I honor that investment that they made in themselves and also make it easy for you. If it truly is a self-study program, I want it to be self-study. And then also going through that process really helped me, seeing what was in there, really helped me look at the overall launch process as a little, there's one kind of important tweak that I'm making, which I didn't think I'd ever make. And so asking myself, is my process the same, or is there a new element I want to share? And that answer is yes. I am really, there's one thing that I was like, oh my gosh, I hit on in the past couple of weeks that I'm like, I can't even, I'm trying to shut my mouth so I don't spill the beans just yet about that. But it is something that has been on my mind, because the process is the thing that I think helps you stand out. I think that helps you stand apart from other people, because in the end, and I've looked at other people's programs that are similar, and I'm not teaching you how to create an evergreen webinar, though that is one of the things you might choose to do, and I can definitely tell you how to do that. But the program isn't build an evergreen funnel using an evergreen webinar and deadline funnel. All that is great. However, there has to be a framework or process that helps people be like, ooh, I want to do that. And there's one thing that I think I hit upon, I'm really excited about, but you'll learn more about that soon. The next thing that I really wanted to dive into is related to systems and keeping myself organized, keeping the launch organized, keeping the product organized. And so I've been hard at work on a dashboard in a program called Notion. If you don't know Notion, you're going to know about it soon from me. And it takes Google Docs, Google Sheets, all that stuff to the next level. It really is amazing. And what I'm trying to create is something that works for myself, but also that I can then add into this self-study program. And it really is like a dashboard to keep your different launches. You basically would duplicate it for each product and each launch, because one of the things that I think people miss out on is reusing their past stuff, because where the heck is it? You name things in weird ways. Sometimes you don't even name Google Docs and they just die. You might have to look for something. You're like, I know I said sample size in my email, but I don't really know where that email is. Or, 2014 launch, what was in that? So I'm trying to create, basically Notion helps you build a database. So in a sense, you're keeping like a really clear record of what it is you've done on every launch. In addition to being able to see your launch, keep your stats and your tracking all there so that you know what's been sent, what the open rates are. It's a really great tool to have this dashboard. Let me know if that sounds interesting. The next question that I've had to ask myself is about tech, because I discovered something the hard way, too late, about a tech decision I've made, 2 tech decisions I've made, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do about it. I discovered that the email service provider that I send my emails on now mostly, except I still do use ActiveCampaign for some things, for customer sequences, for opt-in sequences. But for the newsletter and some other things, I use another service. And guess what? The thing I've been relying on for years is being able to have someone click a link and me apply a tag. Simple, that's it. And I just discovered that unless the email is in, they don't even allow you to add a tag. You have to add people to a segment or something. And it has to be in like a workflow, basically, like a funnel. You can't just send a newsletter, make a link, make it tag the person, or have them go into a specific sequence. I'm like, oh gosh, no. So that was heartbreaking to discover. I think it's fine for now. I think Thrivecart Learn is fine for now. And maybe it will be fine ongoing. I think what might just need to be the earlier decision is putting all of my email back on ActiveCampaign, just because I'm like, are you kidding me? I need to be able to do some stuff. And ActiveCampaign really is pretty powerful. And I can make their newsletters look as pretty. So I don't know. We'll see. You can hear it in my voice. I'm like, no more tech. And the next, I guess the really final question is, I'm doing all this work on the product and thinking through on the strategy of the launch and going through the content that's going to promote the launch and all that. But then I asked myself, I'm like, what does your level 1 launch really need to be? Does it need to be all those things? What if you already have all the pieces for your level 1 launch and you just set the date for the launch and make sure everything is ready by that date? And that is likely what I'm going to do, but I've got one more step that I have to get through first. And I just wanted to share this with you because, as you can see, there have been a lot of decisions, and not just, oh, am I going to use this or that? They're like bigger questions that really how this program fits in with everything else that I'll be offering in the new year. And there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, but I want to go deeper before I set that launch date, and I'm going to need you for that. So this is what I meant at the beginning, where I was going to invite you to something. So the question is, are you working toward a launch of a course or a coaching program, and you need some extra support right now? Are you worried you don't have a strong enough offer, or maybe you've missed something, or you don't have anything? You're not sure if you gave yourself enough time. Maybe you just want to feel more confident going into your launch. Okay, so listen up then. If any of those apply to you, or if you're just like, yes, I'm launching, I don't know when though. Okay, I am looking for 10 people who are working toward their launch. It can be a new or kind of revised or existing offer, and are willing to be on 2 Zoom sessions with me in the next couple of weeks, where I can help you, of course, because I'm not going to just invite you to something and then pick your brain, but I want you to pick my brain. We're going to pick each other's brains, and can help you, but also allow me to ask you some questions too. Spots are limited to just the 10 people so that I have a chance to work with you and really help you and make sure that what I'm creating is actually relevant. And I'll help you with the stuff that I'm doing. So I'm going to give you a form to fill out so I can reach out to you with dates, times of the Zoom sessions before you have to do anything. So all you're going to need to do is click on the link that's going to be below in the show notes in your app. And it'll probably be annesamoilov.com/Zoom, something like that. But just look below and let me know if you want to apply to be one of those 10 people. And then I'm going to reach out to you, just ask you some quick questions, and then I'll send you dates and all that good stuff, just so that we don't like lock up a spot and then you realize you can't come to the Zoom. Because coming to the Zoom, it's not a replay thing. You're going to come to the Zoom, we're going to be there all together, and we're just going to go through what everybody's launching, and you're going to get some specific help for yourself. Hopefully that makes sense, but I really appreciate you letting me process, because as I was doing this, I actually came up with some more questions for myself, and I just appreciate you. I hope this was interesting. I'd love to know if you have any questions, and if you are interested in being one of those 10 people, definitely let me know and fill out that form. Okay, we have, let's see. Next Monday, you're going to hear a real fun episode refocus session, but I'm going to give you basically between now and whenever the 10 spots fill up, but you can expect that following week, the week of the 12th, the 11th through the 15th, that's when we're going to do the Zoom sessions, or at least one of them. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Fearless Launching Show. As always, you can find me over on Instagram at Anne Samoilov, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you're working on, what you're not working on, what you thought you were going to launch, what you definitely are launching, and if you're working on anything this month. I've loved hearing what you're working on. It inspires me to keep going, and I want to keep inspiring you to keep going. All right, take care, and I'll see you next week.